friends, and welcome to ScreenVomit, the only movie podcast for normal people. I'm your normal host, Kayla, and here with me today, of course, I have a guest. My guest is also a podcaster of the Dreamcast Podcast, and he is a comedian, actor, artist, and shorts king, and that would be BUDD DIAZ. Welcome to the pod, Bud.
Thanks for having me, Kayla. You named all my occupations perfectly.
Did I do a good job?
No, you did just home run, slam dunk, grand slam, out of the park. Great job all around.
Well, your website also says editor, which I didn't name, but if you want to throw that in there just for completionist's sake.
I feel, I took it upon myself to try and be a dude who does it all, and turns out you can get a lot further if you just pick one. But I did the best I could. So I just love everything, It's hard.
No, yeah, loving shit rocks.
Exactly. You get it.
And you do a good job at all the things. I'm also a multi-things person.
Yeah.
I was in the music industry for a long time, so I'm part of that. I got movies going. What else is there? Those are the only two things, I think.
That's great to know, because I don't know anything about you, so that helps a lot. Oh, yeah,
feel free. Whatever. I'm an open book,
It's fine. At the same side, you don't know much about me, but we do know that we both share a love of film. Moving pictures.
And music.
And moving music.
And a combo? Yeah. You've been in a bunch of music videos, right?
Very true, yes.
What's your connection to music? How do you end up in all these music videos?
Good question. I think that I have kind of like a Barney Rubble aesthetic. So like anytime anyone needs like a gentle giant or like a union man, like a cab driver or something, I'm perfect for that.
Down.
Yeah, I got it down. So I think that's. But really, what had happened is I ran a stand-up comedy show with some of my friends in Silver Lake for damn near a decade. And throughout running this stand-up and also variety show, yeah, Power Violence, you meet all sorts of people, musicians, artists, poets, comedians, actors, just clowns, just general entertainers, and a whole heck of a lot of famous people, and I just was lucky enough to have been, at the right place in the right time, and I was asked to be in a bunch of cool crap.
Hell yeah, that rocks.
Yeah.
What is your journey with film watching? Do you watch a lot of movies? Do you have a type? What's your journey with that? I'm
like, my favorite genre of film is definitely like thrillers, and I say that generally because it's not necessarily like horror thriller or psychological. It could be like Glengarry Glen Ross. Okay. To me, that registers as like a thriller for some reason, because it shouldn't, but it does. It's just like anything that's just like very intense.
Gets your blood pumping.
Blood pumping, yeah. Like the first film I remember really connecting with was the movie The Game with Michael Douglas and Sean Penn, and that was like, I didn't realize that was Fincher, and every film after that was just like a huge movie for him, and it just left me wanting to talk about it with all my friends, and to me that's like the sign of a good movie, when you leave the theater and you like have to meet outside and you have to talk about it and be like, all right, let's get this out. What the hell's going on?
Hell yeah.
But yeah, I grew up pretty basic when it came to movies. Like, I'm from this town, Santa Maria, on the central coast of California. Pretty simple place. And so, I just generally had, VHS tapes of all the blockbuster films. Didn't really have any type of like super niche stuff.
A simple boy from a simple town.
Exactly. But there were some things that I had that, like, for instance, My Neighbor Totoro. I had like the Trauma release VHS of that.
Okay.
And I would like go back to school and be like, has anyone seen this? And no one knew what the hell I was talking about. just these little black little creatures, and they're like little puffballs, and everyone takes baths with their father. Does no one know what I'm talking about? And no, so I just had that. Also, my parents, this is a lot about me real quick. I'm sorry, but my parents were wedding DJs my whole life.
Oh, sick. My dad was also a DJ when I was young.
Oh, trip out. Yeah, weird. Yeah, so you get it. Was it like club or like weddings?
I think weddings mainly. I was very young when he was a DJ, and then he opened a CD store when I was 6.
Yeah.
And then had a music store for the rest until I was 15.
It's
and I
common to either. We're sharing so much. It's common to like either start with a record store and get into DJ, or start DJ and get into record store.
Yeah.
So you probably are going to relate to a lot of this, but I also had like a lot of strange shit. Because my parents were DJs regarding like movies and things that I watched, because they were always looking for like visuals to play at clubs and like different things. So a lot of like early like CGI tapes of like CGI shorts, like Beyond the Mind's Eye and like stuff like that. And so again, just more stuff that none of my friends around me could relate to. Didn't grow up with cable, so I only had like Channel 6 and Channel 3, and that was basically like Touched by an Angel and Diagnosis Murder and whatever like Christian films they decided to show at the time. Yeah, but like my favorites, was like, gosh, when I was younger, it was like, okay, Jurassic Park, Ghostbusters, not Ghostbusters 2, that one was too scary. And like the Blues Brothers. The Blues Brothers single-handedly kind of shaped my comedy and like what I think is funny. Like everyone has that one movie. Like a lot of it's like, so a lot of people, it's Monty Python. With me, it was a Blues Brothers. There's just like little tiny, because comedy back then was very subtle. Like now jokes have to be addressed, or else, because like executives want to like dummy proof comedy now.
Right.
Where
at least as far as like more major stuff goes,
Yeah, where like in the Blues Brothers, for instance, there's a moment where they hijack some other band's show, the Good Old Boys, a country band, and they play a whole country set and kill it. And then at the end, when they're done, the Good Old Boys show up being like, "Hey, sorry we're late. Where's the stage? Where do we go?" And John Belushi says, he holds up like a badge or something and says like, "Hey, I'm with the union. Can I see your union cards?" Just trying to like stop them. But he holds up a crushed pack of cigarettes. Like, but he just flashes it so quickly. And that was like the funniest thing in the world to me. To like this subtle, tiny little thing that you barely have enough time to register what he's doing. And
I've almost done that in real life. Have you ever been to Riot Fest?
Yes, yeah.
So one time I went to Riot Fest and I was hanging with bands, but I didn't have like a band wristband or whatever. So I was just walking through all the like artist only like places or whatever. But I had this Justin Bieber watch, and I just kept flashing my Justin Bieber watch.
I love that.
Every time we passed the security, and nobody ever stopped me.
Let them through. I love that. Yeah, but like I feel like today, if you were executive and you were watching like an early cut of that, what would happen now is like it would go, "Excuse me, can I see your union cards?" And he'd hold up the pack of cigarettes, and then the guy would go, "Wait, that was just a pack of cigarettes." Like they would have to like address. Oh, it's so maddening. I'm like, just let it be a joke.
Yeah.
Wait, is he like a little off or something? Because he just held up a pack of cigarettes. And it's fucking awful. I hate it so much. Yeah.
Well, maybe that's what's fun about sticking to more indie stuff too, is that you can kind of do whatever.
Exactly.
And just fuck around and have fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah.
I moved to LA in 2010, and I had no dreams of working in Hollywood at all ever. That was just not even in the cards.
So why did you move there?
I was the #1 salesman at Circuit City Stores Incorporated. And then in 2009, we closed down. The whole company went under. And then my girlfriend at the time broke up with me. And I was like, you know what? It's now or never, baby. If I don't do it, if I don't move to LA, I don't know what I want to do yet, but I gotta go.
You gotta get out of your little town.
Gotta get out. Exactly.
And then you just kind of fell into a group of crazy.
Yeah, I thought I wanted to record bands because I've been recording bands in my mom's like RV in the backyard.
Hell yeah.
I had like a fake shanty studio. And then, me and my roommates at the time, we just like didn't have any friends. So we just made videos, like sketch comedy stuff in our apartment because we were bored and we didn't know anyone else. And those people ended up being the guys that I did Power Violence with. And one of them is like Whitmer Thomas. He's
a celeb.
Killing it. Now he's a celebrity. Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And then Clay's like, directing. He's got a feature coming out. And then, he directed with Special. And then Rod, he delivers groceries still, but he's a very nice guy. Just kidding, Rod. You're the best. You know this. I love
Jag
you.
him.
No. But yeah, like it's just crazy. Like what a ride. I think over the last, 10 years, and it's just like, it's such like a hot flash firecracker experience of just like, what if we tried this? I don't know. We've never done that before. Cool. Let's try it. And then it's like series after series of like right place, right time, driving things that just kind of got you to this point where you're like, fuck, I think I'm doing it now. I don't know. Like, have I made it? No, I mean, that's so subjective. I don't even know what that term means. I don't use it like you've made it or you're famous or whatever. Like,
no, but I feel you though. You're just like, this is real, is what you're saying.
Totally.
Yeah.
I know that one thing I for sure that's been threaded through my whole life is that like creative itch, whether it be, and I'm sure you know what it is. You felt it. It's just that feeling of like, I don't know. I feel like I need to do something. I don't know what it is. It could be I need to write a song. I need to go shoot something. I need to write something. I need to draw something. But there's just like this forever tank, this fuel tank that just gets lower and lower and lower until you fill it back up. And like once you fill it back up, then you can take like a 3-day break, you know? And then you just gotta fill the tank again. Yeah. And it's a curse, but it also, I feel like, keeps you going. It keeps you motivated to make fun stuff and do cool shit.
Yeah. And then getting reactions from people also keeps you going.
Absolutely. Yeah. I also feel it's one of those reasons why I do too many of everything. Like I feel like if it were just more directed and focused, I'd probably be a really great version of one thing, a really successful version of one thing. But
do you have one that you're drawn more to? Because you end up doing a lot, but is there one thing that you feel the most connected to?
I think that it's kind of a toss up. Like it's between acting and directing cartoons, because animation directing is nuts. It's so fun. It's like living in this headspace of like solving all these little problems, but you also have the freedom of just kind of like creating whatever you want within the budget's means of doing. So like if you don't have a shot or you didn't get the shot, you can make it. And there's like the limitations are almost endless. And then being in front of the camera, I mean, I was like class clown guy, like, oh, did you hear Bud piss his pants in third period? Like, yeah, I did it because I want you to fucking love me. Please love me. And so, like, I never had a problem being in front of the screen necessarily, and I know that I can confidently perform and be funny, so that's good. But it's never really, I always dreamt of more because I always knew I could do that, it was way more challenging to have your ideas and decisions critiqued rather than just being able to make a double chin and do like a New York guy accent, because I could do that and it'd keep you laughing all day. But like, but it's another thing to be.
It's too easy for you.
Yeah. When you're vulnerable and it fails, you're crushed. And so like, it's a whole different ball of wax, whole different challenge.
Ball of wax. Interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. All right, should we get into our movie for today?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm absolutely ready. I'm also fresh off of finishing it because I finished the rest of it this morning.
Hell yeah.
So it's like, it's right in my head, right in the frontal lobe.
Hell yeah.
If the frontal lobe is the immediate memory part, I don't know, but if it is, then yes, it's in the frontal lobe.
Seems true. Isn't that where lobotomies are?
Yeah, probably. That's where they live. That's where they are, yeah.
That's where they live. Because,
yeah.
I don't know. Who knows? Brains. How do they work?
No
I've yet to figure that one out.
It's just electrified meat. No one gets it.
Hell yeah.
Well, I'm ready.
All right.
I'm ready and you are.
You picked the movie for this week, and that was the 2015 movie Hardcore Henry. So I think this was on my list that I sent you, but why did you pick this? Have you watched it before?
No.
Okay.
I've been fascinated with the obvious device of the first person film that they went. In fact, it was what kind of kept me from watching it, because I just made the decision in my head, like, that's not going to work.
You thought it was going to be corny.
That's not for me. It's more so like that maybe I thought it would like kind of make me sick, or like
that's
it just wouldn't. It would be hard to, like, how do you do location changes? You know, like, unless it all takes place in one big shot and they just use a bunch of whip pans to like secretly cut everything. But it was something special. It was like, that was 2015, huh? That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was a dude from District 9, right?
I don't know, because I don't know what District 9 is.
Oh, I'm pretty sure. But okay. District 9 was like the movie that takes place in like South Africa, I think, where like an alien ship comes down and like these aliens, they call them prawns, and they kind of look like shrimp. And like
little shrimp guys from space.
Yeah. Well, add it to your list. It's awesome. But yeah, that dude, that main actor, I'm sorry for not having his name.
It is. I just looked it up.
Cool.
Charlton Copley.
Yeah, Charlton. Hey.
What a name.
Hey, Charlton. Charlton.
Almost Shart.
Almost Shart? Hey, my man Shart. He just like, he's so good.
Yeah.
He's so good it pisses me off. Like,
he's also in Russian Doll, if you saw that show.
Oh, no, I didn't see Russian Doll. Yeah, he's just like, I don't know where they got this guy, but he's incredible.
Where'd they make this boy?
Where'd they make this guy? Yeah, he just like, in this role, he's playing many different roles of like these avatars in Hardcore Henry, and he just brings like a delightful, like, unique experience for each little something.
Yeah.
Little something. Like, one he's like this, and one he's like this British general, you know, and then another he's this fucking hippie. Then he plays this like badass like punk rock dude with a mohawk, which I assume they shot that last because he had like a shaved head. I don't know if I had to plan it. That's
it looked like a bald cap, but I don't know.
Oh, do you think so? Yeah. It may have been. They're really good with those bald caps.
Yeah.
Especially because this movie was just like super grainy and rough looking.
Yeah, which we'll get into the look of it.
Yeah. Because I've been in movies. I've acted in movies where like.
Hey, brag.
Well, no, wait. Let me finish. There's more to that. That's not where the period isn't there. I've acted in movies where you have to like pretend like you're the one shooting. You know, kind of like that Cloverfield type vibe, and it sucks because you have to like you're standing next to a dude with a very nice camera, and then you have to like block it out to where if someone says, "Hey man, give me that camera," they have to like reach their arms towards the real camera, and then you have to like scoop around them as if you're passing it off, kind of. And
what were you in where you did this?
It was I swore my friends I wouldn't talk about it. It was a film that this British director did that is not good, and
you're ashamed of it.
I'm a little ashamed of it. I have a copy. It didn't come out in America, but it was released in Australia. So I had one friend in Australia who was able to like screen record the whole thing. God bless her heart. She screen recorded the whole thing and sent me a copy through Google Drive. And I watched it once. I was like, you know what? That's it. That's good for me. I watched it once. I don't want to do it. But yeah, it was a film that was played at South by Southwest, and it had like Whitmer was in it, and Clay was in it, and I was in it. And it was this British man made the film. He was one of the creators of the show Peep Show. So when we were when we started, we were like, oh my God, this guy's awesome. That show's hilarious. One of the funniest shows I've ever seen. And I think it was their attempt at like an American comedy. I did figure quotes when I couldn't see that. Okay. But like an American quote, which is where like, you know, the bros hit each other in the nuts all the time and talk about talk about bitches, you know? And it was
There's
like,
a little bit of that in this movie, but
yeah, a little bit, yeah.
We'll talk about that later, but
it was just like it was
a little cringe.
Yeah, it was a little cringe, and we were but yeah,
this wasn't what you thought it was going to be going in.
No, not at all. We thought it was going to be like this bad grandpa, like cool, like found footage type thing, where it's supposed to be like we run this prank show YouTube channel and we're trying to like get more viewers, so we got to like up the pranks and do crazier shit and like and all the pranks. Poor Wit and everyone. They had to like do these real pranks on people and mix it in with like the actual footage that they shot, and it didn't mesh well. You could clearly tell when it would like jump from like the good camera to the bad camera. But the point is, it's hard to do this type of movie with like a really nice camera. I'm just assuming that because it looks like they shot with like a GoPro 2, that they probably did shoot with like a GoPro 2. But I don't know. I don't know anything about the technical side of how they did this, but it's pretty incredible. Like there are clear like cut marks and cut points and stuff in the film, and they use like blackouts and to kind of like change scenes and stuff. But for the most part, there was some things in there that were just so impressive that I wish they would do some sort of like a featurette on how they made this thing, because it's pretty nuts.
So I do have the notes on how they did everything, but
Great.
I'm going to hold off.
Well, if you don't want to get into that yet, I'm sorry for...
It's okay.
You steer.
What I want to do first is run through the rest of the cast and the critic scores before we get into the real meat and potatoes.
Love it.
So this was directed by Ilya Naishuller, who is also a rocker in the band Biting Elbows. And this is his debut feature.
Wow.
But he also...
Sorry, hard rock?
It's like kind of indie rock, sort of.
Okay, because I only like hard rock.
Oh, okay.
So, okay.
I mean...
Continue, sorry.
All right, I'll tell you another note later. But it's pretty it's pretty sick, actually.
All right, cool. I like hard rock.
This man also directed Nobody, though, the Bob Odenkirk movie that just came out.
Oh, what?
Yeah, so that's pretty wild.
Hey, directors be directed.
Hell yeah.
Am I right?
Mm-hmm. In this movie, he also plays a couple people. He plays Henry part of the time, and he plays the hippie guy, I think, as well. And then we have Haley Bennett, who plays the wife, was in Devil All the Time, which we've done on Pod before. She's also in Hillbilly Elegy and Marley and Me, so she's kind of a more known person. And then Tim Roth has a little cameo. Love Tim Roth. He's in a bunch of stuff. He's in most of the Quentin Tarantino movies.
Yeah.
The Funny Games remake.
Oh my god, that was incredible.
Yeah. And his first film that Tim Roth ever did is one of my fave films, which is called Made in Britain, directed by Alan Clark, which he's incredible in. I'm
skimming through the Hardcore Henry film right now, and I'm trying to remember where Tim Roth shows up.
He plays Henry's dad in the flashback at the end.
Oh, duh. Okay, of course. Yes.
So it's just like a little tiny piece, but...
Also, I keep forgetting this is 2015, so I'm thinking like a Tarantino young Tim Roth in my head, but no, that right. Okay. All right, we're good. We're on the same page.
He's Daddy Roth now.
He is Daddy Roth. He is absolutely Daddy Roth. And Daddy Roth rocks.
Hard rocks. In my fave movie, Made in Britain, he is a punk rocker. A Nazi punk, but a punk rocker nonetheless. It's a really good film, though, despite being about
check it out.
A Nazi punk. And then as far as critic scores go for this, we got 52% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is rotten, I think. And then, but from Google users, 80%, which means that the people know how to rock. So,
absolutely.
That being said, we can watch the trailer and then we can get into the discussion.
Sure, yeah, let's do it.
I can't believe they got that Queen song for this.
I was just going to say that. I just wonder, like, there probably was a version where they didn't have that, and then they got through all the red tape and it finally happened for them.
Maybe once they got worldwide distro, that they were able to get the money to pay for the track.
There was a lot in the trailer that, first of all, I don't know, 2015, did like Red Band trailers exist then? I feel like they did. Because it seemed like some of the VFX shots just didn't have like blood in it. Like there was like explosions and bodies flying everywhere, but not like a lot of like blood splattering. That trailer had like a lot of good, juicy stuff in it, though. I loved it. The trailer really fed into the story, which I felt like an easy, gimmicky, easy road to take here would be like to just focus on the gimmick of it being first person and just like the over, like not the gore, but the ultra violence angle of it. Be like one of the most violent things you've ever seen. Hardcore Henry, first person perspective, violence. Like they just didn't do that. It was like, oh yeah, that kind of they used narration and told the story and got you invested. And granted, I don't know if that was like a trailer for the release or for like the Blu-ray release, because the copy says own it now on Blu-ray.
Yeah.
But you know, it's great.
Yeah, good trailer. Solid.
Am I too positive? Should I hate something?
No.
I'll hate it. No, fuck this movie. You know what? This movie's
You can
dog
feel
shit.
however you want to feel. And actually, one thing that's great about this podcast is like, usually I do pick movies I've never seen, so it can go any number of ways. And, you know, there's no gatekeeping in any direction. So feel what you want to feel fully.
Got it.
Okay, so we have to address the first-person perspective.
Yeah.
Because it is one of the main crazy things about this movie is that it's all in first-person perspective. When we wake up, we're out of Henry's eyes, and we remain that way for the rest of the movie. So, this director, I mentioned that he was a rocker, and he actually used this same effect in 2 of his band's music videos. Bad Motherfucker being the coolest one. And
I love that. Sounds like hard rock I'd like.
And there's another one called The Stampede, and they're both pretty cool. Bad Motherfucker is a really cool music video. I almost sent it to you before we recorded, but I didn't know if that'd be too much. But so he had a little bit of practice in using this sort of first-person technique.
He probably put so much time into the research of like testing, doing all the camera tests. Like, that's nuts. That would have taken so long. Because if you were to just, you know, glue an iPhone to your forehead and try and do that yourself, like, it looked like hell. It looked bad. It would be so shaky and disorienting, and like, it'd be way too jarring. So yeah, kudos for putting in the work.
Yeah, so it did take a lot of work, and actually one of the first things that they realized was that the cameras actually capture a better first-person perspective on the chin area versus the forehead. And there's more stability in that area. And they used GoPro Hero 3 cameras, and had to custom make a mask to hold the cameras on the heads. And they went through kind of a series of masks. And actually the first couple clips they did with this kind of style were shot with a Predator mask that they bought from like a mask store, and they just cut a hole in it for a better view and just left the jaw to put the camera on.
Dang, they went full like Slipknot with it. That's awesome.
But they're like, it looked cool, but it was very inconvenient. And
sure, yeah.
There was some point where they were doing like one made out of metal. And then eventually they just 3D printed a thing so that it would be lighter in plastic. And it's like a custom thing that I think you can like actually buy now, that was designed by one of their stuntmen / camera operators. And it's called the Adventure Mask, I guess, that uses stabilization systems with magnets.
What the hell?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
So it's pretty insane, but that headgear is still pretty... Like, it's a lot on the actors.
Yeah.
Henry in this movie was played by 10 different stuntmen and cameramen, including the director at some point.
I mean, yeah, I believe it.
The original guy who played him was hurt by the by the rig. It caused him severe neck pain and a herniated disc. And so he had to quit doing it.
That's bad. Herniated disc is like, that could mess you up for life.
Yeah.
I hope they gave him a buttload of money.
I hope so too. And then another one of the guys also got neck pain, and he chipped a tooth during a stunt. And so it's kind of still like not great. And I think kind of overall it seems like having this shtick, while cool, just caused so much like pain and money and time, because also you have the thing where since it's filmed with GoPros, they kind of do a little bit of a fisheye thing. Yeah. So the editors had to go in basically frame by frame and like fuck it up a little bit so that the fisheye thing wasn't there, and kind of deteriorate the quality of the shots a little bit because of that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, when you like compensate for that curvature.
Yeah.
Like it warps and degrades the outsides.
Yeah.
Doing the VFX shots must have been an absolute nightmare.
Yeah, and
on this,
it was also a nightmare because they got so wrapped up in worrying about the GoPro and the setup of the headgear and that kind of stuff that they actually also forgot to take continuity shots. So then the VFX crew had to just like pull stills from video for like the vans and stuff like that. Some of the vans are completely CGI, and there was at least one location where they just straight up like Googled what the inside of this building looked like to try and like get perspectives on it and stuff. So that's kind of interesting. And they
big oops.
they also could only shoot in like short bursts and then had to edit on scene to make sure that things cut together the right way because there's so much action and all that kind of stuff too.
I was just fascinated by the choreography and the blocking of like the one that they use in the trailer too. It's where they're on top of a van on the freeway and like he hops off of the motorcycle onto the van, and then his buddy like tosses him up a grenade. He grabs a grenade, throws it in the hole, it explodes. That projects him into the air. Then the motorcycle flies him from under him and he lands on the motorcycle. Like there were so many moments like that.
Man, that's gotta hurt his nuts too.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. And I was just looking at this like
how they do that.
Not so much how they do that, but like how did they do this multiple times?
Yeah.
Like, it just doesn't seem like the type of thing that you could be like, all right, great, let's go ahead and get another one, you know?
Yeah.
Like, it's just, unless it was just complete green screen and everything was green, but like, and it, like how they did episode 1 in Star Wars, but like, I don't know how, it's just like insane. Again, the preparation that went into this, like, there's probably like a full animatic, like meticulous storyboards going into this, you know, there's nothing about this you can wing at all. True. Like you have the mad preparation went into this. And there's jokes. There's so many jokes throughout the whole thing. It's incredible. It's like
it's cool and it's funny.
Yeah, are you kidding me? It's so good. And that's what's so great about that actor, which I can't pronounce his name. He's so charming and like funny, and there's just all these little moments that are, because I work in animation primarily, and like all animations comedy are just like little moments, you know, and like that really resonated with me watching this, like all these tiny little things. Yeah, it's awesome.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. One thing too is when you get into a movie like this, they could have gone two ways. They could have gone like, oh, this is just your traditional sci-fi thing, and the movie opens and it's cyborgy, and then it just gets like super violent out of nowhere. The fucking intro, the credits are slow motion, up close visuals of people getting stabbed, shot, like heads cut off. Like, in fact, there were some, I'm not like a super gore fan in film, but like there was some shots where I had to like look away, like, oh God, really? I don't want to see that. Yeah. But it like kind of really set the tone for like what was to come, like immediately in the credit sequence. So great job on the credit sequence too. Like there was one of like a dude getting stabbed through the neck with a huge knife, and it very slowly impales one side of the neck. Camera turns around and shows it coming out of the other side of the neck, and just like so much blood coming out, and it's just like, okay.
And all that's happening with like a dancey new wave song like playing over it too, which rips.
Yes, exactly. And like one of the songs that they used during the freeway scene was very like 99 2000 UK metro, like kind of like a dance club, all like early techno kind of sounding almost, you know. It kind of reminded me of the song that plays when it's like, you wouldn't steal a purse, like you wouldn't steal a car. So, and you know, the like don't pirate DVDs song. It's like
no, the music throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, it's so good. And yeah, it had I don't know, was it British?
Russian,
right? Okay, yeah, they totally nailed that. Like absolutely nailed that. Yeah, that whole aesthetic is like Eastern European kind of thing. It is fucking great.
Hell yeah.
Sorry. Again, I love this movie.
No, you're great, dude. Absolutely go off when you feel like you need to. Like, don't feel weird about talking about the movie. That's literally why you're here. Yeah. So, getting into, like, the story a little bit, what's going on, we wake up as Henry, and we're kind of Henry the whole movie, like we said, because it's first person. He's got a hottie waking him up in the morning, giving him a robot arm and leg, Alita Battle Angel style, but they do turn into skin-looking contraptions.
They paint it brown.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And when he wakes up, he has no voice, so they have to visit the Doctor of Sound when suddenly there's a security breach, where we meet a sort of Draco Malfoy type guy, right, that has, like, Jedi powers.
He is scary. Like, I will give him that. Like, that's, like, one of the ultimate villain powers where you're like, what am I supposed to do against this? How do I fight against this? A man who can just move shit with their mind? Yeah, no, they're gonna win every time. And he's so, like, cheeky. He's such, like, a cheeky little bad guy, too. And, like, of course, this cheeky little slender man is gonna have, like, the coolest power, the best power. But, yeah, it was, like, funny, but, like, also, you generally, like, did feel fear for this person. Because I did, anyway. I like to imagine myself in the movies, always. And I would be scared, so I was able to relate. Yeah,
and that's why you can't watch stuff that's too scary because you're in there. Yeah, okay,
exactly. You get it.
Hell yeah! So they don't say in the movie how this guy got his little, like, telekinetic powers or whatever, but there is a comic prequel to the film called Hardcore Aiken. His name's Aiken. That you can buy online for $3, which I read. So this guy's superpowers come from during Chernobyl, like the minute Chernobyl happened, he was being born at that same time. His dad was, like, in the army and was given a pill that was supposed to, like, save him from Chernobyl. So he gives it to Aiken's mom to try and save her, but it turns out it's cyanide. And so she takes cyanide at the moment he's being born during Chernobyl. And that's kind of like how he started. And then later in life, he developed a drug that would time release and get everybody who took it fucked up at the same time. Oh. But everyone died except him because he has some immunity from being born during Chernobyl. And therefore, he woke up with superpowers. And that's kind of his story.
Wow. Okay. When did Chernobyl happen?
Good question. I think it was in the 80s?
Okay. 86?
Yeah. In
springtime. So I was born in the winter of 86, so technically was I born in Chernobyl? Like, I wasn't in Chernobyl, but I was like, I'm a Chernobyl baby. Like, they're like, are you a millennial? I go, no, I'm a Chernobyl
baby.
I'm a Chernobyl.
So right, have you ever tried to do your telekinetic powers?
Every day of my life, I talk about this with friends a lot where, like, how much time do you think you put throughout your whole life of just trying to move things with your mind? And they're like, oh, God, maybe 100 hours probably my whole life. Like, of your whole life just being like, I bet you I could move this real quick. And then your arm starts shaking because you're, like, tensing up. And you're like, oh, yeah, maybe if I do that, maybe if I do the shaky arm,
yeah,
that'll be what'll do it. Or I'll like, tense my neck and make my head shake. Yeah, the vibrations are going to carry.
What part of your body do you have to make shake before the telekinetic kicks in? Yeah.
Exactly. Like, which muscles do you have to clench before the telekinetic connection is made between you and the object, you know?
How many cheeks do I got to clench to get the remote to fly into my hand?
Yeah. and like, I pray. I used to pray, like, just move, just slightly move. You know, like, I just want the pen
You were praying to
like,
God?
Yeah. God, please. Just make the pen slightly roll. If you just show me, I can do that, like, we're good. I will only use my powers for good.
I used to pray to God about Super Mario.
Oh.
I'd be like, dear God, if I can pass this world on Super Mario, then I will never do anything bad ever again in my life.
Oh.
Amen.
And you did?
I think a lot of the times, I mean, eventually I beat them. Thing is, I'm classically bad at video games.
Sure.
I still am. Even video games that I've played, like, my entire life. There are, like, 3 games that I can play well, maybe.
They're tough. They're tough, these damn video games. They're only getting harder.
I know. And I can't do any of that. I'm baby games only.
Aw. All right.
Stardew Valley,
Animal
Crossing, I got those down, you know.
There's this great
DDR.
game you might like for iOS, for like Apple iPad and stuff. It's like a pond with a bunch of like little fish that are
I've been
swimming
watching
around.
your baby games streams.
Yeah. Oh, thanks. So it's like a pond. So you put the iPad down on the ground. It's a pond with a bunch of little fish swimming around.
You go fishing?
And you just touch the... Well, it's technically for cats, but like you just like touch the fish, and then the fish swim down.
Baby game. This is a cat.
Oh, sorry, not a baby game. Yeah, I call my cats my babies, but it's a cat game. You probably love it, to be honest. Like, I can see you getting. If you're not great at games, I can see you getting at least 14 hours of fun out of this thing.
You think so?
Oh, yeah. Highly recommend. Give it a shot.
I thought the one you played last night looked pretty fun. I bet I could pick up some eggs and...
Oh, for sure. What was it called? Like a egg farmer or something? I don't know. Look, I
could pick up some eggs and kill some flies with a knife. Definitely.
Here's the quick story. I gotta plug this. I'm sorry.
Go.
A long time ago, I said, hey, you know what? I'm going to buy a monitor and tilt it sideways, and I'm going to play pinball on it. That'll be fun. And I was like, where the hell do you find pinball games in 2020? So I look at, and I find this website called GameFools.com. And it is a shit show. It's like, it basically contains all these games that you can hardly call them a game.
Yeah.
Like, for instance, one is called Dig the Ground. And you
what
can
do you
guess
do in
what
that
the point.
game?
You can guess what the point of that is. So yeah, and also they have a subscription service where you play like unlimited or not unlimited. There's over like 1,500 games you can choose from. Like you can't play them all. But it's $15 a month, which is kind of steep. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
like, it's pretty steep.
But you're paying it, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, I've been paying for about a year now, and like. Because a lot of these are like translated, I feel, from other languages, maybe. So like when the characters pop up and talk to you, sometimes they just make no sense. And the point of the game is usually either very simple or like way too complex. Like that egg hatchery one was just like basically the tale of like commerce, and you just kind of you start with an egg and you hatch a chicken, and you turn that chicken. You sell it to the old witch in the village, and she gives you
You talk to woman
money.
Or whatever it says.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the prompt says, talk to woman. You're like, oh. Okay. I'll go talk to woman. Hello, woman. Yeah. And it's fucking crazy. And I've been trying to play... Sorry, I won't spend too much time on this.
No,
but,
it's okay.
One that I played a few nights before was... It's called, like, The Blind Knight or something. And... You play as this, like, valiant knight who's completely blind, so there's no visuals whatsoever. But you use a game controller. So it's like, follow the voice of your daughter, and you hear her going like, this way, Papa, this way. And so you're moving with the joystick, and you hear, like, the crunching of the leaves and your footsteps. And then you hear her, like, on the right side of your headphones. No, Papa, to your right. I'm over here, Papa. And so you're like, ah, crap. So you gotta, like, follow her voice. So it's basically like a blind person simulator of sorts. But then other people, like, angry British men show up and like, all right, who's this little blindy? How about I'll give you a taste of my short sword? And you're like, why are you fighting me? I'm blind. Like, stop. So then you have to, like, listen for him to attack you and, like, block with the shield. Again, it's not very visually entertaining when you're streaming this game because there's not a single visual. There's just, like, loose clouds that kind of move in the background, and that's it. So, yeah, wild. Gamefools, look, they got it all. Gamefools.com. AAA games right on your mobile. Sign up for Gamefools on demand. over 1,500 titles. And log in on your phone. They got mobile apps that I guess you can only access on your phone. You're gonna want to get in. You're gonna want to invest. Invest now.
I love this complete advertisement.
Great,
incredible.
I'm going on a podcast crusade to get the word out for GameFools.com. I'm so surprised it's not a .net. Like, I don't know how it's a .com, but it is.
Or something weird.
Right, .biz or just something
Game.fools.
Back in the day. The website looks like it's from 98. Like, it's nuts.
Hell
it
yeah.
hasn't changed at all. Yeah.
That rips. Okay, the movie.
Right. The movie.
The movie. So, Malfoy has broken into this joint before this man can get his voice. And I think it's interesting, if we can reveal the twist later in the movie, is that this Malfoy dude, he just looks so much like Malfoy. That's funner to call him that. He schemed this whole thing and kind of invented Henry's BUDD to make him like a super soldier for his army, I guess, ? Why he needs an army, never addressed. Pinky and the Brain style to take over the world, I guess.
Yeah.
But knowing that he schemed this entire thing and invented Henry, I think kind of makes the beginning and some parts of the movie interesting, because what purpose does this serve to like blow up his own lab and not let this man have a voice and kill his dude in front of him? Like,
yeah,
what purpose does that serve him, you know?
That's wow. Yeah, well, I thought about this actually because I had the feeling, I'm sorry, spoilers, but the wife, she's in on it. But I had a feeling that the wife was going to be in on it, like when she first appeared. Like, I've just seen too many TV shows and movies at this point.
Yeah.
But I had the same thoughts you did of like, well, wait a minute, hold on. It seemed legit because the dude came in and straight just murdered people. And so, like, maybe it was just to kind of drive the believability of it, you know, to just have it. He had, like, really, really go method with this, like, thing. And, like, blood had to be shed in order to get this. And they didn't seem like they valued other people's lives very much anyway.
True.
So, in a way, they kind of, like, got off on it, you know?
So he's doing this just with the express purpose to like create an enemy out of this man, you think?
Yeah.
To make him have something to fight against, to maybe make his skills come out? It just seems like they could have done that in a much simpler way.
No, you're right. You know what, though? I'm not going to lie. Like, I didn't really think about the purpose of Henry. Huh. When I got to the end, I guess I get the big twist, but, like, I don't really understand, like, what exactly was his specific, like, what made Henry unique, you know? Well, I know it made him unique with the memory stuff, but, like, what was his thing? Like, what made him special?
Yeah, I don't know either. And, like, they didn't give him even, like, a heart charger thing. So, like, why did they do that?
Unless
they kind of said, like, the thing was to make one of these soldier guys with love or whatever being his driving force. But then they also later in the movie show, like, a clip thing of a bunch of guys waking up with her pretending to be their wife or whatever.
Okay.
So,
my guess is that Henry's story wasn't, like, necessarily special. That, like, maybe it was just this one tale of one of many people that, or
so
cyborgs.
Does he do this for every man?
No, but I think that, like...
Spend your entire life fighting your own army?
The only thing that makes him desirable by the doctor's, like, trying to find him is that he, like, kind of planted like little tidbits of memories in him, you know? It kind of reminds me of did you ever see Dark City?
No.
Okay, Dark City, it's like a 90s jazzy noir sci-fi film where basically it's these aliens that are trying to find the human soul. So, like, every night where one person's, like, poor, they'll make everyone go to sleep and then change the city and, like, shapeshift it. And then people wake up with, like, new roles to where, like, if someone was poor, now they wake up and they're super rich. But there's one doctor, he's, like, the only human who's aware of this. He injects people in the head with, like, new memories. And in the movie, he's trying to set up, like, he has like a lifelong goal of like trying to build this one guy up into like the one who will like disrupt the system. And by doing that, he implants like small memories, enough to like keep you thinking like, wait, what am I remembering right now? Who is this person? Like, there's something there. And so that's, I think, like what makes him special and makes him like the one that they're searching for, you know? Is that he's the one who had these like little tidbits of a past kind of put into him. Whereas before, I don't think they had any of that. All of them are just sort of brainless. But yeah, I think he was just like a average who gives a shit kind of cyborg guy in the system. But he had like a little something special in his brain by design by the doctor.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, so to get out of this little takeover from Draco, they blast rock and roll that gives everyone a shockwave so they can escape the room, which was pretty sick and badass.
Hard rock, loved it.
Yeah, I thought there would be more rock and roll happening throughout the movie, but that was really it. It was just the beginning when the sound guys were rocking when they walked in, and then they blast rock and roll to get everyone out.
Yeah,
and that's it. I just thought there would be more, maybe. What if they went to a gig instead of a brothel later?
Right. You want more live music.
Want to be a little more punk rock.
Sure. There was like when the punk avatar was hacking and slashing, there was some punk playing over that scene.
A little bit.
Yeah, a little bit. But it kind of leaned more like techno.
Yeah.
Kind of like industrial dented hard rock.
Or like video game, like intense video game music, for sure. They definitely like, not only is like the first person POV very video game, but I think they continue throughout the movie to kind of introduce little bits that are video game aspects, I think. But I thought that was kind of cool, actually, that they like fully went for the whole vibe instead of just ending with the shtick, which they totally could have done.
Totally.
I respect that.
I think, like, so as far as like first person shooter video games go, I only traditionally will play ones that are like, I'm like learning some sort of history. Like, I like World War II first person shooters, but I don't like, you know, all the modern stuff. Like,
you need a reason to kill.
Yeah, I need like a reason to kill. Exactly. That's the only way I'll do it.
Okay.
So, but this is a thing that they do a lot in some of the great, like, first-person shooter historical games, is, like, these cutscenes from your POV. Like, there's nothing worse than when, like, you go to a cutscene and the camera pulls out, and you're like, oh, I'm just watching, like, a mini-movie right now.
Yeah.
But when it's from POV, just, like, it's exactly how Hardcore Henry is. It's, like, the exact same aesthetic where, like, someone puts a gun right up to your forehead, and then they get, like, shot from the side, and then your ally shows up and was like, that was close, mate. Let's get you out of here, you know? And then you both, like, hop in a Jeep, and then now your next level, you're in a Jeep shooting people out the back of the Jeep. It's just like, yeah, keep it going. But there's never, like, any breath in there, you know? Like, it's just like a nonstop go,
yeah.
Which this movie very much is.
This movie totally is. And even just, like, at the beginning when... before they've even escaped the airship or whatever, when just, like, the wife is like, come on, this way, follow me. You know, like, even that felt, like, very video game.
Oh, absolutely. Very, very video gamey, too. I loved it. Like if you were playing that game and you just stood there, she'd just sit there repeating that.
Yeah. Yeah, you know? Totally.
Come on, this way. This way.
She'd just be stopped somewhere in the distance. And that flying over.
Yeah, over and over and over until you went.
Totally. So they do get in an escape pod and crash land, and it's pretty much just like you said, it's all action from there on out. Like there really isn't a breath in the entire movie, almost ever. Because when he gets out of the escape pod, there's a whole bunch of Russian mob guy type dudes who tase him until he flies off a bridge, and then there's more Russian mob guys that he has to fight with guns. So it's just like one thing after another for forever.
It was epic. Awesome. Loved it.
So he gets in the car with some British guy who tells him he has only 20 to 30 minutes to live unless this guy helps him. And then this guy is instantly murdered by Russian police. ACAB, obviously.
ACAB.
But we see this kind of develop as a pattern throughout the movie, which I thought was fun, is that, like, every time somebody's like, you need help right now, and I'm the only one who can do it, they, like, instantly die. I just thought that was really fun.
Yeah, that was great.
The next guy who helps him is on a bus, who gives him like a phone with a map, which is another sort of video gamey type thing. I thought like he has a map he's carrying with him with his little plot points he needs to get to. And his next goal is to break into Slick Dimitri's house, rip his heart out, and grab his charge port.
So much happens in that movie. I forgot about the whole Slick Dimitri angle. Like, I totally forgot about that guy. That just felt like a year ago when that. Wow.
Totally.
So Slick Dimitri was like another one of him.
I guess.
Right? Yeah, just he instead
Not
of Henry,
addressed.
it was Dimitri. Yeah, not addressed. He was just also living like a cool European lifestyle.
Hell yeah.
Just being a badass.
Goals.
Yes.
But this guy that helps him on the bus at one point does look out the window and sees a guy with a like flamethrower. But says like, God, that guy's wearing the gayest jacket I've ever seen. Oh,
Is that what he says?
yeah, that is what he says.
Oh, I couldn't tell.
Oh, I had subtitles on.
Rough.
But, yeah. And it's not too bad in this movie, but there are just like a handful of instances that are lines like that.
Really? Well, look, if he's saying it looks gay, I thought it looked really cool. So gay is cool. So there. It's settled.
Gay is cool, the official stance of this podcast.
Thank you, yes. Because I saw that he was in like a insane, like, what was it? Like prism suit of sorts?
Yeah,
like,
sort of prismatic.
I've never seen any suit like that ever in like a movie. I can't think of one ever. It's just like, it was awesome. And like, I was kind of stuck on that for a while because I'm like, what does that dope ass suit do? Is it like flame retardant?
I guess that it is. Yeah, that would be my guess, is that it's, just like works like tinfoil. It's like,
it was almost like like Mr. Freeze's suit from that bad Batman movie where like it just looked like crystals. It was awesome. Yeah. I loved it.
Yeah, it was pretty sick.
Yeah. I love that suit, and I'm glad that it came back again. It had like a second wind at the end too, which was like, I almost like started clapping when I saw the flamethrower guy come back. I'm like, what is this movie doing to me?
Dude,
like,
this is
like,
for sure a hoot and holler film.
Yes, yes.
You got to do a hoot and holler at least once in this, if not multiple times, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. I tried to also imagine myself in a theater watching this, and I couldn't, because there was only a couple areas that made me feel like a little
nauseous.
Seasick. Yeah, but like on a small screen, it's fine because you can kind of look away, but I can't imagine being locked in a theater, like having to look up at this constantly. It's probably so nauseating.
I agree. And also, I don't know how well like the first person of it all would play on a larger screen. Like, what's cool about a normal TV is that it's like the size of your body, you know?
Yeah.
So like,
perfect
if his arms
for the small screen.
Yeah. If his arms were huge, then what would that be like? I don't know.
I have no idea. It was wild.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, so he does get to Slick Dimitri's house. The girlfriend beeps in onto the TV with a message, just like a video game again.
Convenient.
And Slick Dimitri slip slides away, and that's another, like, he yells at him, oh, you're half machine, half pussy. It's like, okay, we're all guys, dudes who love to call each other pussies, okay?
Yeah, the pussy theme was like it was throughout the whole thing.
Yeah, there is.
That was very common.
The gay thing happens a couple times too. Like, there's another time later where one of the guys is like, oh, I know there's a stigma about guys who like musicals, but I'm straight, just letting you know, I'm not gay. You know?
What? I don't remember that at all.
That was your boy. What's his name? Charlton.
Oh, Charlton. Well, damn, no, I don't. I mean, at some point I did have to turn the subs on because like, I can't understand a damn thing this guy's saying. I don't know.
I had him on the whole time because I have, unfortunately, a loud ass fucking window AC in my room with my TV.
Well, that's the same with me. I had the AC, the portable AC on. I'm like, I got to crank this up to like 39. I don't know. I can't hear a damn thing. But, oh, that's too bad. Charlotte, shame on you. Yeah. And that means it's not his fault. He's just fucking taking the job.
He's like you. He didn't know.
Yeah. And you know what? That makes it totally fine. No, that's not. No, that's don't cut that out. You're uncanceled, Charlton. Yeah, but that's a shame. But it does kind of remind me of that movie I was in where they made me say bitches every other fucking line. Be like, hi, can't prank me, bitches. Let's go this way, bitches. And I remember talking to the director saying, and I had the support of everyone just being like, I know, I just think that this isn't, if it's trying to be like an American comedy, this isn't how we talk to each other, dude. Like, we'd say dude or maybe bro, but like bro's even cringe. Like, we don't do this, you know, like this isn't, you know, The Hangover. Like, I don't know, like it's so much had changed between the time that movie had come out and like when this was okay and normal. But I don't know. But I still did the damn thing. Yeah. It's stuck. Yeah.
Damn.
It's stuck in Australia. Yeah. So, loved it over there.
RIP to our Australian listeners. Now you know.
Now you know.
Yeah. I wonder if that is what's happening here too, because all these guys are Russian. So like, yeah, I wonder if they're trying to write to what they think an American audience is. Yeah,
and they probably just did like, and also like that exists too in like video games with first-person shooter with like cinematic cutscenes. There's a lot of that talk, and I don't know why, because it doesn't need to be there, but we're just in a bubble, and that's just how most people talk to each other.
It probably also makes a difference that almost the entire cast is male and crew for that matter.
Yeah,
too. Right, they don't have a lot of diversity going on in their crews, and even all the women who are in this movie are sex workers, just there to serve the men, really.
Right. Yeah. So. What are we talking about? Why are we... Why are we even talking about this?
It's okay. I mean, I still found the movie to be largely enjoyable, you know. But if you're going to present a critique, that's certainly one that you can present.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's okay to not like certain things, but still like a movie.
Right. Okay.
So you're not canceled, but.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. You heard it here first. That's the first time I've ever heard anyone say that. That's crazy.
That you're not canceled?
That I'm not canceled. Yeah. So thank you.
At least, look, not yet.
Not yet. Hey, there's still plenty of light in the day. So.
Oh, fuck. Okay. We'll change the subject.
We're never going to get through this movie.
No,
I'm sorry.
It's okay.
It's not going to happen. Let's hear. I'll stop. You go. Let's go to the next. We're 15 minutes into the movie so far, so let's keep going.
Luckily, like most of this movie is like large action sequences.
Now you're gonna skip. All right, and then there's a big explosion. Yada
yada.
You're shot in the head. Yeah. Anyways, there we are. The final scene.
Even like Slick Dimitri, he finally does catch the Slick Man, and he's like, wait, I have something very important to tell you about the guy who sent you here. And then his head gets blown off. So that's another one of those, like, guy has something important and instantly dies things. So he does get the charge port from that guy's chest, though. So now he has a good heart. This is when he gets the phone call for his next mission, I guess you could call it, to go to this certain dot on the map and knock on the knocker, he says. And when he gets there, it is a titty-shaped door knocker with a nipple-piercing thing that you grab and to knock the door. Yes. So just some more guy stuff.
Guys love that stuff. They really do.
Hell yeah. So this whole thing is like gunfights. And you know what? I felt like that opening credits sequence that we talked about, like, introduced such cool gore.
Yeah. That
I thought we really didn't get as much of during the actual film, which was a little bit of a bummer to me.
Yeah. You don't have to leave this next part in, but it kind of, I had to like pause it for a sec because I don't know if you remember back when like some fucking piece of shit dude like went into like a mosque and like shot a bunch of people and he like put a camera on his gun and like live streamed it while he was doing it. Oh. And I made the mistake of watching some of that video and it's like haunted me and it looks just like this movie.
Really?
And I was like, fuck. So like, yeah, when I was watching it at first, I had to like pause it and kind of like recalibrate and remember like, that's not this. So just
this is fake.
Clear your brain. This is fake. This is absolutely fake. These are actors. Remember, these are actors. Because watching that little tiny tidbit of that video was just so awful. And it's like the same type of video and the same frame rate. And like, it's just, it just really like kind of like got me. So shit. Yeah, I had to kind of like, stop down, flush my brain out a little bit, and like get into like this is an action movie. Get in action brain mode,
So for you, it felt too gory.
Yeah, I mean, again, I'm just so
you're sensitive.
It doesn't do it for me. I don't know. I don't get it. Like, I grew up with like all these wacky friends that were all into like rotten.com and stuff, and they just like were obsessed with all this. I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Like, there's nothing at all about this that like gets my rocks off. This is not cool.
I think also maybe once you experience real gore or real death, that absolutely can change your perspective on fictionalized gore and death and violence as well.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I do think like kind of stylized like goofy gore is fun to me. If it doesn't feel too real. And I kind of thought, I know you were a little bothered by the opening sequence, but I thought that was kind of more like goofy, stylized, like kind of fun gore. It did.
Sure.
That's not how like people bodies work. Like like their neck just like tearing or whatever. Like it's stupid.
Yeah, you're right. It was pretty dumb.
It's okay that it bothered you though.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
I don't want to invalidate your feelings.
No, and it's funny too because like when I'm playing like video games, even though they're educational war games, I still am very much shooting other humans in the game. So like how is that okay? I can't, and this isn't, But yeah, it once you kind of relinquish that like irked feeling of humans killing each other, it's actually a pretty fun movie. It's actually pretty fun. Yeah.
It is pretty fun, and I feel like that perspective also makes it so that at least I felt like I couldn't look away. Like there's always something happening, and I feel so involved with it. Oh
my gosh! Imagine like nodding off for like a minute or two during this movie. You have to like start over. I don't know.
You'd just be in a totally different like part of town.
Yeah. You're like, oh man.
Idea. Yeah. Story wise, you might not miss much, but like action wise, it's cram packed.
Yeah, absolutely.
It kicked ass. He runs back into the Draco guy at the brothel too, and there was one instance of cool violence there where he threw like a serving platter through someone's head and like cut their head in half. I thought that was pretty sick. And you hated it.
I mean, some reason I don't mind like a head slice. Like there was this movie called 13 Ghosts. That's pretty bad.
I saw that, but a long time ago.
Yeah, where someone gets sliced by like a door, but they get sliced shoulder to shoulder, so like width-wise.
Okay.
And then the front half of their body slides down, revealing a cross-section of the back half of their body, and like it was just so outlandish that I was like, okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine. Like that wouldn't happen, But yeah, I kind of felt it was also like super VFX looking too when they did it. So I'm like, all right, that's fine.
So that one's
practical,
okay.
Practical head slice. I don't know. Maybe not for me. But yeah, like a classic VFX head slice. I'm totally fine with that.
Okay. Hell yeah.
Yeah, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know how you do it practically, but you know what I mean.
Somebody's head would have to be inside.
Yes.
I'm sure it's been done.
Like, just to give you an idea, one more thing. Whenever movies use real bones, which is a thing, I have trouble watching it. Because, like, I see these bones, and I'm like, that's like my brother.
Yeah.
Like, it's just crazy. I can't... Where other people are like, ooh, spooky, they used real human bones for the boneyard scene. And I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Put them in the ground. Leave them alone. Like,
you're just asking for a haunting.
That's my brother. I just the whole time he's that's my brother.
You got too much respect for the dead.
Yeah,
and they got no respect.
They got no respect. My brother would be pissed if he knew that. Well, maybe not. Maybe he'd be stoked if he knew his bones were being used in like Indiana Jones or something.
The movie star.
Yeah. Didn't amount to shit while I was alive, but after death, baby.
Then you could say my brother's a movie star. His bones are in this.
I wish there was like a Carfax for the bones and you could like know and credit all the people.
Yes, in the credits.
Look, if you're gonna use someone's bones in a movie, you gotta give them a credit.
The credits, yes.
Give them IMDb and credit them.
Put them in SAG.
That's what unions are for. I'm the guy at the union board meetings demanding this psychotic shit. I was like, okay, we can't let just anyone pay into this thing. There needs to be a screening process. We got old buddy Bones over here advocating for Bones again.
A pile of bones with the SAG card.
Look at this skeleton. Look familiar? That's my brother. And he wants credit.
Nobody's got legs like this guy.
We drank milk every day together. All day we drank milk. Look at these bones. Thick bones. Can no break in these babies.
Oh my god.
All right, where are we at now in the story?
That's incredible. Oh my goodness. So, Malfoy, though, again tries to kill him in this scene.
Yeah.
And I'm still like, what's the point of killing your own guy? I don't know.
Sure, yeah.
But he gets out of there. Then we have the little scene with the two, like, dominatrix biker girls. One of those chicks was actually the film's composer.
Whoa.
Daria Cherusha.
Great job, Daria.
But they also do use, like, overlapping subtitles in that scene to, like, show
that's
how
so good.
It was cool.
I loved that. I love that so much. Mm-hmm. That was so good. Those dumb little gimmicks like that, they get me.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
No, they rip.
It was almost like borderline, he like looks down and goes like, what the hell is this? And like swats the text away. Yeah. Like it was like almost that.
Because they're just like cussing him out in Russian or something.
Yeah, and they just like overlap each other. Yeah. It's just a pile of subtitles.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah, it was pretty sick. So they all hop on motorcycles to go get his quote unquote girlfriend. It's just another like shoot explosion scene. They do knife a guy in the eyeball at one point. I thought that was cool. They do find the girl, and Draco shows up again, and I think hits him with a bat. Yeah.
He gives a real long speech about this special bat, I think, or something about, like, bats being, like, banned or something.
Yeah.
Maybe?
They're like, very rare in Russia.
Yeah, and then he said something like, you want to take her place? Go ahead. Oh, my valiant knight, whatever. Mm-hmm. But then he just sort of, like, peers out into the open hole of the van and kind of just being like, all right, pal, just give me a whack. and then he does. So it was almost like he was just like taking the head bonk in a way. Mm-hmm. It was a little strange, but I mean, I guess, hey, when your back's up against the wall and you got a superhero with a bat and he's like, I want to hit you. You're like, all right, well, I can't say no. I guess just fucking hit me,
What else
dude.
Can you do? Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And then he comes to being buried. But a dude and a chick find him, and there's, like, a scene of them putting him back together again when, like, his eye is out and stuff, and so you're getting, like, the dual camera going on. That was pretty sick. I love that.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
And I wasn't even sure if, like, the footage of him being buried, I thought about this a lot while it was happening. I'm like, I don't necessarily know if this is supposed to represent, like, Henry's consciousness. I wonder if this is just, like, it's just so we can show something, but I think he was still supposed to be unconscious at that time, no? Did it register like that to you? Because to me, it felt like, well, we need to show him being buried, so it's almost like we're just like showing you what the eye cameras see, but it's not necessarily like Henry alive experiencing this. It's like he's still out or offline, if you will, and that it's just like, we need something to show you what's happening.
Yes. I think I agree. Yeah. I didn't think about it that much, but now that I am.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
I think you're right.
It was like disconnected. Like there was more like, what's the word? Like there's more like black around the eyes.
Or maybe he's like in a coma or something. It's like his eyes can work, but nothing's going on in the brain.
Yeah. There was like science vignetting kind of happening around the two circles kind of. Yeah, exactly. Like he's on standby in a way, you know, but he's not like watching this all happen and like processing like, oh man, I'm being buried right now. You know?
There's no
what
internal
the
monologue.
hell? Yeah, no. Hey, what the hell's going on? What the hell is this? Are you burying me right now? What the hell? No, it's not. None of that. Just like they gotta show
dirty.
something. I'm all dirty. What the hell? I thought for sure they were going to make him talk at some point.
No.
Like he was going to finally get that vocal attachment and like give one final line, you know?
Yeah.
But I guess he kind of got that in the wiping of his finger in the blood,
yes.
You know? But sorry, yeah. Keep going, sorry.
No,
keep going.
Okay, so the guys who help him get blown up and yada, yada, yada.
There it is. There's the yadas,
et cetera. Guns, shooting, falling out of a helicopter, tanks. He ends up back with the guy from earlier who has a lab. So this is where we get your boy here.
Yes.
Charlton.
Charlton, bring it.
Yeah, who gives him some backstory, finally, that this guy is like a scientist type dude who makes soldiers for Draco. And that dude did not like the soldiers he came out with, and so let his spine get snapped. So now he's like paralyzed.
Yeah, he messed him up real bad. Mm-hmm. He was in like a room full of kind of brainless guys who were just like punching the air. Kind of looked like a mosh pit of sorts.
Yeah.
Like
punch dancing dudes who have lobotomies who only had fight. That was the only thing they had left. Yeah.
Yeah, like a overweight hardcore show.
Okay, I'm back around. This is punk rock.
Okay, yeah. So they're just huffing and puffing, and it didn't even look like they were kind of hurting them. And then that dude just, I mean, again, the power to just move stuff with your mind, like he just slammed him so hard, and it snapped him like a twig. Poor little guy.
Yeah, poor little fellow, bless his heart.
Yeah, poor little fellow, bless his heart.
So,
exactly.
Because he got paralyzed, then he was motivated to make actual guys. So now he made a whole bunch of alters who are fully functional, which is why he had to run away earlier, because he couldn't let the Russians know that he did that and see him around walking, because they all look just like him, too. And
right.
I think you kind of gotta just not ask too many questions in this area, too, because, like, don't all these dudes start as human and then their robot parts added to them? So, like, how did these guys look like him? They all have different personalities and different accents. Like, what's the deal with that?
I think what happened is he perfected some sort of method, like, because I think what they were doing was using, like, different people, you know, that's why they was like Henry, Isaac, whatever, they had different names, like, and the only reason I think that is because at one point he like shoots a glass tube in the ceiling, and remember that little like half-born little like kind of fetus version of himself drops down.
So you think he's like cloned himself or something?
Yes, I think it's like it's a mixture of him. He cloned himself.
Yeah, what the fuck was that little fetus thing?
It was like his head. It was like his head on like this rubber. They look like a like a size of like a 10-year-old or something, and just like this weird rubbery body with like all these wires coming out of him. So it probably takes a good amount of time to bake one of these suckers.
Yeah.
And maybe like, a couple years, maybe a year. I'd be like a whole year. Probably longer. Actually, why am I spending so much time on this?
Real people take almost a year, so.
Yeah, but like a year to like full man. Like full man that he can pilot, Like full avatar, probably a whole year and a half. So, yeah. So yeah, I think he had his own special technology that like he was like, I can't let this get out. Like this is just for me. I'm gonna use this to help my own selfish goal or whatever he was trying to do. Just get revenge, I guess, was his goal at the end of the day.
But he's also spent a little bit of time in quarantine, because what we see is he has all of his alters do like a whole full song and dance like musical number. That
was so good. It reminds me of do you ever see Southland Tales?
No.
So Southland Tales, it has like Justin Timberlake and Dwayne The Rock Johnson, Sherry O'Terry.
Whoa, this sounds sick.
It's wild. It's like this. It's the guy who did what's the one with the damn rabbit and Jake Gyllenhaal? Donnie Darko. It's like the guy who did Donnie Darko. It's a second movie.
The one with the rabbit.
Sorry, with the rabbit and Jake Gyllenhaal.
Well, that adds up.
And it's like. It was this highly anticipated film. I think it's incredible. A lot of people fucking hate it. But yeah, why did I bring this up? What were we just talking about? There was
Song
a
and
reason.
dance?
Song and dance. There's like a song and dance number that Justin Timberlake does to some Killers song that just kind of like happens out of nowhere. And I was just like, all for it. Yes, this is so cool. So when that guy just like broke into that, first of all, I love this actor. He's great.
Yeah.
But then when he gets into that, it's like, oh yeah, dude, you've been down here a long time. You're just waiting for anyone to ask, like, so what do you do down here? so he could do that whole thing. It was so good. So good.
How much he must have practiced it.
Oh, I know. And there was a lot of like techniques in that whole shot because it was many versions of himself, but all the same actor. So they had to like match the cut points exactly.
And then
to,
falling down constantly. You had to perfect falling down.
Yes.
Yeah.
I could like see that on a stage. I could watch it. I'm like envisioning it now on stage of like a big song and then you collapse to the ground and then someone else picks up the song, but it looks just like you, you know?
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah. It was pretty badass.
Hard rock for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, one of those guys is a certified punk rocker. So
yes.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say it was hard rock. And so in this part 2, they find out that Henry's vision has been being broadcasted to the baddies. So
oopsie.
Now all the baddies have found them in their secret hiding spot, and him and all the alters have to go and fight off the bad guys and protect the main dude. I think they call him a cripple in the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's like chill to say, but that's what they call him in the movie.
No, not at all. In fact, he call himself that at one point?
I do believe so.
Okay. I mean, it didn't seem... Yeah, okay. The guy kind of seemed to not like himself very much towards that one point. He got real sad.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I've never... I got like a lower back pain. That's about all my ailments. So I can't imagine what it'd be like living like that.
Making an altar without lower back pain.
Yes. Be like, I'm so driven. I'm so smart and driven to this lower back pain ruined my life so much. I'm going to just sit in a chair.
I just want to make a me without minor lower back pain.
Without minor lower back pain. Yeah, exactly.
Imagine how functional.
I know. Jeez.
Incredible.
So dumb. That's so dumb.
I love it.
Okay. All right.
So these dudes are just like fighting all kinds of guys. Like this is one of the 2, I would say, like final boss kind of scenes, like the level you get before the final boss, where it's just like a million guys and it's just nonstop like shooting guys, running around a corner, shooting more guys. At one point they throw a grenade down a stairwell and just a body like flies up. Mm-hmm. I thought that was pretty sick.
That was fun.
Uh-huh.
That's straight up like cartoon, like Looney Tunes bit.
Yeah, I love that. And just when they thought they got all the guys, then just like 200 more guys step out from behind every pillar or anything they could possibly be behind. So they've rigged the ceiling to blow up and crumble, and so it crumbles all the guys, and so they can take off in the van.
Yeah, at this point, you're just having fun. Like
it's all hoots and hollers.
Yeah, when I get to that point, I'm just like, there's no challenge anymore. Like, they've won. They've done it. They're, like, on top. And it's good that they kind of let you feel that, like, glory and fun moment, because what happened next was just like, oh, now, okay, this was all chump change. This was nothing compared to, like, what you're about to face.
Yeah, which is that he gets to Malfoy's house, and the altar guys die in the elevator on their way up to, I don't know, his office.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P. guys. But they do reactivate his memory first, which we do see almost none of, aside from that one little scene.
Oh, with the memory wand,
yeah.
Of course. The memory prism.
Yeah. And when he does step off the elevator, that's when it's like 100% video game. Like, it looked like video game level in Doom or some shit.
That's like the rocket launcher scene where there's blasting holes in the wall and like all the lighting is weird because it's such a heavy VFX shot.
Yeah.
So it's like kind of gray,
you know? Crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Malfoy has just a video already like cut and edited to like play for him, like showing that his wife was fake the whole time and that she's been doing this like act with every guy that he makes or whatever. Villains love to have a video ready of their entire evil plan.
They really do.
It's kind of like the one thing we know about villains is they're usually filmmakers too.
Yeah, and they added like the cool like glitch filters you see on like Instagram ads. They like want you to download their like glitch pack.
Yeah.
And it's like that's awesome. Just great content.
Yeah, they definitely sprung for the glitch pack in this one.
Wait, what? Okay, what if the video was totally like wrong and they didn't anticipate that the scientist died? So the video's all, "Hello, Henry. Hello, scientist," and he's like looking like, nope, close. Like your plan was almost perfect, but okay, like
that is hysterical. Okay, you're gonna have to write down some of these ideas because they're so funny.
That's the problem with the pre-planned video. It has to, if it's not perfect, it's awkward for everyone.
I'm gonna pee my pants. That's so funny. Between that and the Bones representative,
right?
I'm dying. Yes.
You're right. I forgot the Bones representation.
Oh my god.
Fun stuff.
Yeah. I wish that had happened because that
I know.
so good. So after he plays his villain short film screening, he brings in these like final boss super soldiers who are like super amped. At first, I think it's just one, and they have like a little death match, and that's when Henry rips out his heart battery charger.
Smart move.
We get that sick shot of him like opening his own chest in first person POV, just like pulling back the skin.
Well, Malfoy goes like, "These super soldiers have a stronger battery than yours does. Too bad you don't have one in your chest." It's like, oh, okay, you gave him the idea, you dillweed.
And isn't the whole point that he's supposed to be like the latest edition of the soldiers? So like,
I guess.
Like, what is even happening?
Yeah, I don't know. It's the whole like the dog in the fighting the dog analogy I can't think of. You know, like who you got to have the heart. You got to like want it.
Yada yada. You know? 2 dogs. A heart.
I can make a gun with bigger bullets that more firepower, but you got to know how to use it. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's the saying I was looking for.
Yeah. So a whole squad of these boss soldiers, they end up outside. I don't remember how they get outside, but they're like on the roof. The cam is so shaky you can really not tell what's even happening most of the time.
That was the one part that I go, okay, I'm gonna have to look away for a little bit and like recalibrate my brain a little.
Yeah.
Because most of it was pretty easy to track up until that crazy rooftop scene. Because it was like upside down, spin around.
Yeah.
Now you're up top. Now there's guys up there somehow. What the hell? Like, what is happening? Like, it was chaos. But
Complete
it was
chaos.
so fun.
Yeah.
So fucking fun. Like, there were, in the span of 30 seconds, there were like 15 gags that happened. Like, they've crammed in so many little gags. Like, you know, I'd reach for something and the door handle would break off. So I'd look at it and go, all right, I'm going to hit you with this door handle. And somehow shove into your eye. Like, it was just like every little thing was like a challenge. But Henry figured it out and used it to kill people.
Hell yeah.
So that's kind of the premise of the movie, really.
Yeah, I mean, really.
something falls into your lap. How do I kill a person with this?
Yeah. And at one point then he finds like 2 shots of adrenaline from like a first aid kit.
Sick.
And that's when like
good.
the super like hell yeah hoot and holler portion of the movie
begins.
Well,
when he shoots his legs, the time like slows down.
And that's when Don't Stop Me Now starts playing too in the movie.
Yes. Yes. And I thought at first, I'm like, oh no, is this whole sequence going to be slowed down to get the point across that like he can move faster than everyone? You know, I was like, that would be very interesting, but probably a bad idea to have like the most epic scene just be in slow-mo. Yeah. You know, but they didn't do that. It kind of like it speed ramps back and it's just like triple speed, basically.
And all the deaths that happen after he does those shots of adrenaline are like the badass shots I was like waiting for. Or whatever. Like guys dying in every type of way. He like throws a guy into a big fan, like a Willy Wonka style fan. He like wipes a guy's head down the side of a building. When
the fan part happened, I whispered to myself, "There it is."
Yeah,
like I was like waiting for that. But yeah, the face dragging kind of got me. I was like, oof. The sound design, what is that? It's like a skateboard like grinding on like a concrete curb or something. Just like
something.
Oh, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then also at some points too, it was just like pure like caveman carnage. Like, I'm just going to pick up a rock and just bash you with the rock.
Yeah.
You know?
And he gets blood on his like eyes too or whatever. And there's like the wiping of the blood. That was pretty badass too.
I'm surprised it took that long to do a gimmick with the camera like that, to like, oh no, something's splashed on me, I gotta wipe it off. Like, that I don't think that happened throughout the whole movie. I could be wrong, but that was funny. That gave me a little
no,
chuckle.
I don't think it did either. Just like the eyes coming out thing. That's really the only eyes gag we had prior to that. But yeah, it was pretty sick. And it gets down to just being Malfoy only. Of course, he can't be defeated because of his Jedi powers. The wife comes in and gives Draco a little smooch, and then Draco gives Henry a little smooch and a little bisexual representation. Okay.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, is that what that was? I don't know. He's just a freak. I love it. You know,
as
they're
most
poly.
bisexuals
you
are.
know they're poly.
Yeah,
they're poly for sure.
They're definitely looking for a third.
Oh, absolutely. Always. Yeah, they're the classic. Like, we noticed you from the other side of the bar. That's we gotta find a photo of them. I'm gonna make that meme. I'll make that meme.
Please. That's incredible.
Yeah. No one's gonna know what the fuck this is, but what? Oh, sorry.
I'll post it with
2015's from 2015's Hardcore Henry.
It's a Russian indie film from 2015. Do you not?
Yeah.
Hello.
Do you not? Hello. Yeah, that's great. Malfoy also like does two inappropriate touches in the movie. One in the beginning, one at the end, which I didn't care for. He like kind of like reaches for the doctor, or his wife, like like either I think like grabs her butt, or like touches her between the legs or something. And I was like, oh man, this guy's the worst. I am not a fan of this guy.
Yeah, he's nasty.
I hope they kill him. He's a nasty little guy. Yeah,
nasty little sucker.
Yeah, exactly.
So he tells Henry that his experiment was a success and that they're going to make 1,000 of him by tomorrow, which seems like a short production time. And also if they make 1,000, and the whole thing was that it worked because she played the wife and they like gave him a wife.
Yes. That's what he thinks worked.
Yeah.
He thinks that Henry was the most successful version of that. You know, like, so he goes, oh, great. Since we did the whole wife act with you and you turned out to be such a little scrapper, we're going to have 1,000 of you very soon and you can't stop us at all. He does not realize at all that that's not what made him a little scrapper.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, it got him like halfway there, but the rest of it was like the doctor, like the scientist, like assisting him and kind of like showing him the ropes. And I mean, really, if he didn't have the scientist, he'd be screwed like every time.
Truly.
So I guess it's like, oh, what you actually need is 1,000 super soldiers and then 1,000 scientists with a bunch of avatars to be able to like protect them. That's pretty much that.
1,000
that
hot
would be the ultimate
scientists,
army.
and then like
yes,
how many like guys though? Like how many guys did Henry kill on his journey to this rooftop too? Like, are all these guys gonna do that? Like
that video has to exist, right, on YouTube, like a death count.
Yeah,
video. I've actually seen one. I think it was for like some sort of action movie where they try and like calculate the death toll of like the city scenes where it's like from Avengers and stuff, and they're like, all right, that building holds about this much people. Let's say it was end of day, so it's probably at like 3/4 capacity or half capacity. That'd be about like 10,000 people, and they just like tally up this like estimate of what the death toll would be in these like action movies. But yeah, he human life. There was no regard for it whatsoever at this point. And one thing they had in the trailer too, which kind of made me go, oh shit, was when he slides down the escalator and like clocks that woman. And the woman,
allegedly that was an accident. Like that was a stunt person who was like not in their exact mark, and it was an accident.
I believe it because that's not a real fear of mine, but it's something I think about when I ride on escalators. I go, ooh, there
might be a guy sliding down.
No, they're just sharp stairs is what they are. Like sharper stairs.
Did you ever see Final Destination 3?
No.
They all get sucked into the inside of an escalator.
No.
Ate up by the gears inside.
No. That sucks. That's too bad.
Yeah. Escalators are scary. People don't talk about how escalators are scary.
No, not at all.
What if your shoelaces got caught in there? Okay, terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrifying.
That's my worst nightmare.
But that was like a big... I saw that, and that was the one moment where I kind of went like, oh, damn. Because everything else seemed like planned, but that one moment, that didn't feel planned.
He did kind of like stop and like apologize to her or something.
Yeah, or something.
Yeah.
I love the director being like, we're leaving it in. It's so good. Those are the magic moments that we love. That's why we do this, people. That's why we do this. Yeah.
Yeah, allegedly that was a stunt person, and so she like knew how to fall right so that she would be fine. But that she wasn't exactly on her mark, so she got hit, or somebody wasn't on the mark. That was just what I read, so, like, I don't know, but...
That's crazy. Like, every single person involved in that shot had to be a stunt person. Like, just in case, you know?
Yeah.
Because they signed all the waivers.
This whole film is, like, essentially stunt people.
It is, yeah.
There are, like, 3 actors and, like, 200 stunt people. Yeah.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. Wow.
Hell yeah. I think after he says they're going to make 1,000 Henrys by tomorrow, somehow does he like get blacked out? Maybe he gets like punched with his forces or something. Because that's when we get like the little dream of him having the vision of his dad giving him like a pep talk.
Yeah, I think he like flies him up in the air and slams him down real hard, I think. Oh, and then you see Henry's face. Kind of.
Yeah, you get like a reflection of Henry's face while he has like a flashback of Tim Roth as his dad basically saying, I'm not going to call you a pussy, but, like, are you going to be a pussy or are you going to stand up and fight?
Right, yeah. It's so funny. Like, it'd be like if, you know, the flashback was like, you're a piece of shit. And then but then the rest of the conversation was like, you're a piece of shit is what my daddy used to tell me when I was younger. But actually, I would never call you that, son. I love you. It was like, oh, really? Okay. That's
like basically exactly what he said. Yeah. I would never call you that, but it does seem like you're being that, but I'm just not going to say those words.
Yes. Yeah, I was like, interesting. Like, you could have just made him a bad dad and just still given him, like, a life lesson, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, whatever, yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, and then he sees his reflection, and then he catches that second wind that only memories and humanity can provide.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he gets up and rips Malfoy's hand in half. Just straight up rips it in half. I loved it.
My girlfriend hadn't seen any of it and then walked in on the hand part.
Okay,
and was just like, what the hell? I'm like, I know, right? This is crazy. Like, right down the middle. Right, freaking live long and prosper, baby. Just rip it right down the middle.
Yep.
Like, it was crazy.
And he's like sort of powering up and like taking all kinds of stuff up into the air with him. And Henry like uses all these floating bodies as like stairs to get up to him or whatever.
Yes.
Takes out his own eyeball and wraps the wiring of it around Malfoy's head and uses his own eyeball to chop his head in half.
Yeah.
That was fucking so sick.
It was.
You hated it?
I just, like, I don't know. I just felt, okay.
Tell me what you think. You don't have to agree with me.
I work with cords and cables a lot, all right? You can't do that.
You thought it was poor cable representation?
I thought it was absolutely poor cable representation. Unless we're dealing with like a heavy nylon thread, monster cable, top of the line stuff. I mean, you're talking like you would need like the tiniest like piano string, but like you would cut your own hands off before you could cut the head off. You know, I don't know. But at this point, he was like full on, like, anything goes in this movie.
Yeah.
Just do it, you know? Yeah, he gave it a tight squeeze. His head kind of bubbled a little bit, and then he just ripped it, and a clean cut right off.
Hell yeah. And then him and the chick get in, like, a helicopter, and...
Oh, he jumps off the edge and grabs it.
Yeah. So they're in the helicopter? They're in the helicopter. And she's like, how could you do this to me, Henry? And that's when he, in the blood, like... takes some of his own blood, wipes it on the wall, and writes in the blood the letters E-Z.
E-Z. Great. He's like,
I love this.
It's so good. And she goes like, where is he? Remember? And he just like holds up half the head.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
Right here. That was great.
This whole scene, because then he also, like, ricochets a bullet back at her, and she kind of falls out of the helicopter, and she's, like, barely hanging on, and she's like, listen to your heart, Henry, and he just slams the door on her hands.
Oh, yeah.
And they just roll creds right there. It's, like, basically, like, the CSI, yeah, sound, you know? Like.
Yeah. I thought, honestly, at that point, after everything I had seen, I thought he was going to do, like, this little piggy went to the market bit where you like slowly, where you slowly take off all the fingers, off, like holding onto the edge.
Yeah,
like
that could have been cool too. But I did kind of like just like the abruptness that is at the end.
And like the camera leans in, like maybe he's gonna save her, and then goes right up, and he just takes the sliding door right on her fingertips. I thought it was gonna like also. He was going to chop off her fingertips, and it was going to be like the gimmick was that he closes it, and then the just like eight fingers, I guess, are just like rolling around on the ground.
That could have been.
We're going to rewrite it. We're going to reshoot it.
We have a couple really good ideas for this.
We got the bones. There's so many ideas we got for this. I mean,
definitely cooking a short film out of this one.
Oh, for sure. These movies, like Crank is another one that's just like high octane action always, you know. And I love this shit. I don't know why. It's just, it's because the whole time I'm watching, I'm just like, how'd they do it? I like if I watch Jurassic Park, I'm like, yeah, I know how they did that. Clearly, it's CGI and a bunch of big old fucking puppets. But like, you know,
they got a bunch of big old dinos. Clearly,
yeah, duh. But like this, what the hell? How did they do this? The pure planning and everything that went into it was just amazing. And so impressive. Just incredible.
Yeah, I agree. And I love, like, it's not that often where you see things that have, like, some aspect of creativity, some creative idea that's, like, nothing you've ever seen, you know? Or that really just, like, blows your mind like that. And this totally had that. And it's not like, I mean, there have been other POV movies before, but like, not like this, I don't think.
No. And it's just nuts. Like, 1917 did like a big one shot. It's like, where's the Hardcore Henry Award for this? This is like, yeah, that was cool, but like this, what is this? No one's done this.
Yeah.
And no one's done it again since because it's just so specific, you know.
And grueling and takes all your time and money and ruins people's bodies. But
yeah. And I was like exhausted afterwards too.
Totally.
I had to like go for a walk.
Because your heart was pounding the whole time. You're doing cardio.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I was Henry.
Yeah, that's kind of what it feels like. In the credits to this movie too, they sort of set up a potential sequel. There's like halfway through the credits an answering machine. It's a message that from Jimmy that says, "Hello, Henry. If you're hearing this, there's one more thing I need you to do." And then like more music plays. So they kind of set up like there might be a little something, but I don't.
So I watched this on Tubi.
Yeah, I did too.
Okay.
Did you autoplay the next thing?
I just it did it for me. So I missed that whole part. That's a bummer.
You got to push back to exit the autoplay next thing.
All right,
I'm a big credits head.
I'll talk to Tubi.
Talk to Tubi.
Just give them the option to skip. Don't auto skip. I don't like that.
I always watch the credits.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, isn't that crazy that like as you get older, that's like something you prioritize. in a way. You go, yeah, like, why is everyone getting up? We watched the credits. All these people worked very hard. This is great. Like, it's like a sign of respect, I feel.
Credits can serve multiple purposes, too. First of all, you never know when there's going to be something in the credits. And it doesn't have to be at the very end. Sometimes there's stuff in the middle, like this was in the middle of the credits.
But I've done, like, motion graphics on credits before for jobs, and, like, everything, even doing credits from, like, a copy standpoint, it's exhausting. And, like, there's just, like, this, once you work in the industry and you get more into film, like, there's just, like, a respect that comes with it. And you kind of just want to see, like, even the credits fit into the aesthetic of the film as a whole. Like, it should still feel like the same tone, you know?
Totally.
And it does. And so, yeah, I'm ashamed that I skipped them. I felt like Tubi didn't give me the option.
And that's what's going to get you canceled.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, known as the credit skipper.
For being rude to the industry.
Yeah. Dumb.
Yeah. But no, credits rip.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of times they are used intentionally. Like, yeah, we just did Sound of Metal, and, like, they specifically had a song written that was supposed to be, like, a continuation of the last scene that played over the credits. So it's, like, it's about what's happening with him in the last scene of the movie.
Oh,
so that you can spend a few more minutes with him and with that feeling. So, like, there's always something to the credits, and I think watching credits rules. And I always do it. And I get roasted for it sometimes because normal people don't watch credits, I guess, and they should. So how about that?
You know, in the small amount of time I worked in reality TV, that was one thing that was interesting, was that, like, credits roll. The episode isn't over by the time the credits start rolling. And it goes, like, right up to the final moment of the TV show. The credits are done. They just sort of, like, bump up from the bottom. They do that up top with movies. They do credits when the story has begun. I think we should try and do credits, like outro credits that happen while the movie's still going.
You think so?
So that way when the movie's done, it's done. It's like over. I just say I've never seen that. So let's just try it once. We need one.
I don't know about that.
One trailblazing director to just give it a shot, see how it works. I mean, there's also, like, union stuff you probably can't, but, like, you know.
I mean, another thing I like about sitting through the credits is, like, it's sort of a moment to recharge and, like, absorb whatever you've just witnessed over the last couple hours or whatever, too. And, like, and not meditate on it. I don't know, like, think about it. Reflect on what you've seen.
If I directed that movie, Hardcore Henry, it would go black. It would cut to me on screen just being like, hey, thanks for sticking around. I appreciate it. I know that was kind of weird to watch a first-person movie. Here's just a clip from a normal movie. And then it would just be like a clip. It's like a clip from, like, Forrest Gump or something. Just like, oh, that's nice. You know? Just like a palate cleanser, like a bowl of pretzels at the end of the movie just to, like, undo what the hell just happened.
Yeah, that's what they should have done.
All credit should have a clip from Forrest Gump in it.
Or something normal.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Thank you.
All right, so we've officially rolled the credits on this film, so it's time to score this movie out of 5.
Yes.
So what do you think out of 5?
All right. I hate this part.
I know.
Because it's so permanent. Also, they're all listening right now, and, like, you know, just waiting for this. Just because of the small parts that made me feel physically nauseous, you know, which it's such a shame because they only happen in a select few parts.
Yeah.
But I can also see that, like, a lot of people would immediately write off this movie just because of the first person thing. They'd be like, oh, no, that's not for me. Because I kind of did that myself, knowing that I don't do well with, like, motion stuff. That's why I would give it a 4. Just because of the appeal of the people who may not be as balanced with their inner ear. You know, like, it's kind of like in VR. Like, I goof around in VR a lot. And, you know, I can play games and do experiences where you, like, warp. Where basically you, like, cast where you want to teleport to. And then you just appear there. But, like, the moment... It's a game where when you push forward on the joystick and you physically move, like in normal games, because you're not feeling it in real life, you start to like get sick. And it sucks because all the good games are that.
Yeah.
And I don't get to play any of them. But, I mean, that may be petty of me to not give it a 5 just because of my own issues with motion. But, I mean, that's probably what I would...
you can score whatever you want, however you want.
Yeah, let's give it a shiny golden 4.
I think I'm also going to go 4. I think initially most of the movie I would say is 3.5, but once you get to the very end, I think that really bumped it up to a 4 for me. Probably just that last scene with like the easy and the slamming of the door. Like I was hooting and hollering, and yeah, that was pretty badass. So I'm going 4. And then awesome. Would we recommend this movie?
Yes.
Yeah,
I'd recommend it. Like, throw it on a projector in the backyard, invite some friends, have a social distance event.
Yeah.
Be smart and be safe and enjoy this. Enjoy this with your friends. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's super fun. I watch it with the subs on. That might be helpful.
Yeah. It probably would be great with a group of people. This is definitely a group of people hoot and holler. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Now it's time for ScreenVomit.
In this part of the pod, we just talk about whatever else we've been watching lately, movies, shows, whatever else. So what have you been watching lately?
Sorry, I wasn't prepared. Let me see. What have I been watching?
Are you Googling what have I been watching?
Yes. I'm searching on Bing. Let's see what happens. Hold on, wait. Because I'm like in between moving right now. So I'm just like...
I just moved.
Haven't been... Oh, did you?
Mm-hmm. This is actually my first time recording in my new house. So.
Oh, congrats. It's exhausting. So I haven't been watching too much. I did, let me think. I recently watched Servant, which was the M. Night Shyamalan TV show that's on Apple TV.
Whoa. Okay.
Which highly recommend. Yeah, it's just about this family who gets like a live-in maid, and she ends up having like origins in this like cult. And
I think I heard about this. Does this have the Harry Potter guy in it?
Yes. And yeah, it's crazy that that's his name, Harry Potter guy. He like Harry Potter guy
Rupert Grint.
Rupert Grint. He's doing assuming he's very British. I don't think I've ever heard him talk like in his real voice.
He is.
But okay. But
Lauren Ambrose is in this too from 6 Feet Under?
Yes. She
is
her. Incredible. Mm-hmm. So Rupert, he is doing like what I assume is like an American accent, but he doesn't like fully commit to it, so it almost comes off like Scottish or that he's
what's in between British and American is Scottish, actually,
like almost like transatlantic in a way. Like I'm like, okay, dude, bring it back, baby, bring back that talk, like
hell yeah.
Or like almost like a pirate kind of. It's very interesting.
Can you do it? Give us a slice.
It's like, well, like let me think. We gotta get rid of that baby. You shouldn't have brought that baby around here, brother. Like the hard R's, like, but yeah, pirates who are trying to do like hard R's, like it's very good. Don't let that deter you.
Pirates love a hard R.
It's awesome. The short synopsis is they have a fake baby because the mom lost the baby, so it's like a therapy thing.
Yeah.
The servant moves in to help take care of dishes and towels and stuff, and then next thing you know, the baby's real now.
Wow.
And they're like, what the fuck? How did this happen?
They're like, what is this crap?
And the mom is already like believing that her fake baby was real. So when she sees the real baby, it's
like, I told you so.
She's like, no, it's not even that. It's like nothing changed. She just like, there he is. There's my baby. And we're like, but all the people who don't have this trauma don't want to say anything to be like, well, no, we can't tell her that it was fake. She doesn't know the difference between the fake baby and the real baby. She's just got this mental trauma. So like, it's more of like everyone else trying to figure out how the fuck this could have happened while also trying to like uphold the big lie, and keep the big secret. And then it just fucking rabbit holes hardcore like TV does.
Yeah.
And it's great. I highly recommend it. It's I don't know much about Apple TV's programming, but it's the one thing that I've seen come out of there that was like very good that I enjoyed.
Hell yeah.
That's really the last thing I think that I like really binged before shit just got too crazy in my life. So
hell yeah. All right. So I've been watching a few things. I got a couple things to name. I watched Adaptation for the first time.
Cool.
With Nick Cage.
I still have not seen that.
I had never seen it. This was my first time, too. And it fucking ripped. It was
Great.
So cool. Have you seen Being John Malkovich?
Yes.
Okay, so I would definitely say do have seen that movie before you watch Adaptation. So if you have, then check mark you're in.
Cool.
It was an incredible movie. I really loved it. Nick Cage rocks. The whole story rocks. That was a 5-star film for me.
Oh, wow.
And I rewatched Death of Dick Long, which we did on Pod like over a year ago, I think.
With Andre Hyland?
Yeah, with Andre.
Oh, great.
Our buddy. Yeah.
Yay. He's the best.
Oh, yeah, he rocks. Love Andre. Shout out to Andre if you're listening.
Andre, shout out to you. Dude, at like an early Power Violence show, Andre and this dude, Joe Staken, did like a bit on stage. This was like a while ago, and they needed like an audience participant, and the woman that they got to come on stage ended up being the actress that was in It Follows. What's her name?
Micah Monroe?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So the woman they ended up bringing on stage as their guest ended up being Micah Monroe, and this was like well before. This must have been like 2011 when this happened. So I remember I had this photo of them on stage with her like sitting in a chair doing this audience participation thing. And when It Follows came out, I'm like, oh, I'm going to tag her in it. And then she's going to share it. And then our comedy show is going to be huge. And probably so like...
How'd that go?
It worked. No, it didn't. No, it's just like... It's just like a funny story about with Andre that like he had the celeb. I don't know how did you, Micah, if you're reading this, if you're listening, how did you end up there? How did you end up at a tiny black box theater in like the scummiest part of Hollywood, like on a Sunday night?
At like an alt comedy show?
Yeah, an alt comedy show. Like, I just want to know how you got there.
Maybe she's a sneak freak. Maybe,
yeah. But yeah, Andre's incredible friend, incredible guy, incredible filmmaker too. Just
hell yeah.
Wow.
No, he rocks.
He's been
in every way.
And like just going back to all like what was the blonde chili? Was that what it was?
Mm-hmm.
Like like from like even back in the day, like Clay always had like his like DVDs laying around. Like we've just always been a fan of that dude.
And just couldn't be a nicer guy too.
I know, right?
Yeah.
What the hell?
It's kind of fucked up.
Do you ever get mad?
He's about to literally pop off like here in a minute. Like,
yeah, no, he's ready. That's good to know. I gotta hit him up. I gotta get in. I want to be the turtle in his entourage situation. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if he needs a turtle guy in his cast.
If you're listening and you need a turtle, I'm ready to ride your coattails, baby. Hit me up.
And you know what? It's time for him too. He's been doing this for so long.
Yeah.
He needs to pop off.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
Andre Hyland popping off 2021. Let's fucking
support
go.
For Andre. Let's make the sign.
Let's go.
Anyway, Death of Dick Long rocks too. That was the second time I've seen it because we did do it on Pod, and it's even better the second time around. So, loved it, and it's up free a bunch of places now too. So it wasn't for a long time.
Well, I hope, even though it's up free, I still hope that money ends up in Andre's pocket.
Yeah, whatever we can do to get money in Andre's pocket.
Yes.
We feel good about. I did also buy the DVD. I just haven't hooked up my DVD player yet, so.
Well, good luck with that. Let me know if you need any help. It's
figuring out the cables, because you are the cables guy. Huh?
I am a cables guy. And actually, this is what I love. I love that, like, because I had this background from Circuit City and with computers and all this stuff, I'm like just the tech friend, you know?
Hell yeah.
And it kind of, at one point, became like a joke when, you know, I'd get a text message from from an attractive person, and they'd be like, "Hey," and I'd be like, "Oh, hey," and they're like, "How have you been?" I'm like, "I've been great. It's great hearing from you." And I would turn to my roommate and be like, "She's probably gonna ask me a tech question. Like, just
Oh no.
do you want to like? How much would you bet that the next text I get is like?" Hey, so my computer's doing this funny thing, and it was like almost like always it was cursed. It was almost always like, hey, so I have a 2015 MacBook Pro Retina, and for some reason it's doing. I'm like, oh, here we go. Okay, yeah, but it's like, yeah, I'll help you.
Don't even bother getting horny anymore.
I know. So like. Anytime a woman would talk to me, they're like, "Oh, we're closed. All right, we're closed today." Like, what? Never mind. Sorry. PTS from who are you? Yeah. But yeah, that's great. I will be your tech hero anytime. So I'm here. Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
All right, I got like 3 more quick things on my little list. All right, I watched Mr. Lonely, which is a Harmony Korine movie. First time I'd ever seen that as well. It's like about a bunch of people who impersonate celebrities. It also has like a crazy bunch of people in the cast. Werner Herzog's in the cast. Dennis Levant and Leo Scarax are both in the cast as well. And I think that the movie kind of also shows some of those creators' influences in the film too.
Oh, that's awesome.
I didn't watch it for the longest time because it primarily focuses on a Michael Jackson impersonator and, so.
Yeah. If you haven't heard Josh Fadem do his Werner Herzog joke, highly recommend trying to like find a clip of it. He has a bit where it's Werner Herzog pitching a hidden camera TV show. And it's perfect. So it's just him being, I'm butchering it, but like, it's him just being like, I think we should create the illusion that an alternate reality. And he's like diving deep into the concept of a hidden camera TV show.
Yeah.
It's like, and I think someone should pop out. And I also think it should be me. So good.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to Josh. Shout out to great comedy.
Yeah, shout out to comedy.
Yeah.
So that movie actually, I think it's one of my favorite Harmony Korine movies. I mean, it's hard to compare anything to Gummo, but like besides that, I think it's one of my faves. It was actually really good. Mr. Lonely, that one's called.
Great.
All right, 2 more. One thing I watched was The American Astronaut. Have you heard of this movie?
No.
It's kind of a really deep weirdo cut film from 2001, but a couple freak friends have recommended it to me. Past guests of the pod, Frank O'Kay and Adam Murray, both recommended this film to me. So I finally watched it last night, and it was super weird. It's kind of like a Western, sort of, but set in space, like in the future over multiple planets. I don't think I've seen anything like it ever before. I'm still kind of piecing together what I feel about it, but if nothing else, I have big respect for the film because it's so unique and really well done for being just like a low budget weirdo art film from 2001. So
that's awesome.
And then last thing is actually one of your videos.
What?
But well, I watched an old Power Violence video at random.
Oh no, which one? Not that I'm embarrassed by them. It's just like a lot of these things were made. You're
babies.
Like we're babies.
Yeah,
you can
I think
see
this was
Rick's
like
got
8 or 9
blonde
years
hair.
ago. Yeah,
I got a beautiful hairline still. Like it's strong as ever. Yeah. All right. Which one?
No, it was incredible though. I watched Older Brother. Well, I watched a couple, but that was one of them.
Okay.
No, it was great. It's great. Are you shy?
No. Well, yeah, a little. But like, wait, was that you? Hold on. Was that you? You're not in the Discord, are you? Hold on.
Yes.
Oh, was that you who posted
Oh, yeah,
that?
it was me.
Okay. Because it is you. Okay, cool.
It's Grandma.
Yes. Yeah, you were like,
I'm Grandma on the Discord. I'm Meat Boy on Twitch.
That's awesome. Now, thank you for saying that. Yeah, you said this. I think this counts as a short film.
Yeah.
And I watched it because I hadn't seen that in a long time.
Uh-huh.
And I watched it again, and I'm like, damn, it kind of does. Like, it has like
it feels like a short film.
It feels like a short film.
It doesn't feel like a sketch. Like
beginning,
some of the
middle,
videos are
end.
sketches or like jokes or whatever, pranks.
Yeah.
I watched the there's one where you like put cartwheels on like a skateboard and are going down hills.
Yes.
Or whatever, in like Jackass style.
Yeah. That was.
That's not a short film, but it was fun.
No. But this one, yeah, this is like, oh man, we had so much fun in that big mansion. We lived in this huge mansion, and just, it was a playground to just film all of our stuff. Like, basically the version of comedy that we were always trying to make is like, you know, when there's like 4 people and they all poke their head around the corner, but they're all like lined up on top of each other like a totem pole.
Yeah.
Like, that basically is the aesthetic of the comedy we were trying to go for. Is like that slapstick, like, and like 4 people look around the corner, or like, or
I watched a cup video too. The cup.
Oh
one
my
was
God.
Good.
That, again, we had, so I didn't have any friends. Clay had one friend named Dan, and then like Whit had like a small amount of friends he met because he did like UCB, like intro UCB classes or something. So like all we did was hang out constantly and film anything at any time whenever we were just like itching to film. There's so many sketches that are not on the YouTube that have no story whatsoever, and it's just like based around a voice or commonly based around not knowing what something is. That was like the most popular theme of our videos.
Older brother and Cup are both like not knowing what something is.
Well,
like,
if
older brother is Whit learning what an older brother is.
There's more where that came from. There's also one called Alarm, which is I play like a father figure to Whit and Clay, and I holler down the stairs like, "You boys remember to set your alarm?" And they go, "Yeah, totally, we did." And then they go into a full-blown panic because they don't know what an alarm is. And so Clay goes to Google it and searches A and then alarm. And like alarm is some sort of like organization that like relocates like immigrants or something. And then so they go on this crazy drive to where they take this like this Mexican citizen who's in America, and we take him back to Mexico, and it's just chaos. Like it all because they don't know what alarm means. Yeah, that was very common one. We did a lot of that. My favorite of the crap that we made was we made these series of videos with the word talk in it. So one was called like Office Talk, and the other one was called Auto Talk. And one was supposed to be called Movers Talk, but we just called it Movers. But it would basically be like, I was the boss, and these were my boys that worked for me. And it's just like classic slapstick, like Three Stooges style bits. And so Auto Talk, for instance, is like me on the phone with a customer talking about like trying to get parts, and meanwhile Clay and the back are in the back trying to like work on this car, and they're just destroying it. They're just like drilling the paint with like a gun and like hitting the windows and breaking them with a hammer. And then the Movers one is like me on the phone with yet another customer telling them like how I can guarantee that we're gonna have you moved into your new house by sundown. And I'm like, I got 2 of my best boys on it. And meanwhile, Clay and Whit are in the house, just completely breaking all the dishes and like tearing the place apart. And it just happened that like we made these sketches based around like Whit having something that he was like abandoning or leaving. So he's like, I have this car that no longer works. We're going to film this video around it. Or I'm moving out of my apartment. Let's film this sketch where we like break everything, which I'm pretty sure he lost his deposit because we shot that. But there's a lot of little gems in there. I'm glad you watched something like it's from a very specific time in our lives, but I'll always be proud of the stuff we did as Power Violence. But it's a lot of fun to go back, especially because like it was such a long time ago. my whole head has changed shape. Like, it's like I look at this guy, I'm like, I don't know who is this Frankenstein looking guy? Like my head just shaped differently now. It's so weird. Like,
I just had the same feeling. I just had a memories thing pop up from like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years ago.
Yeah, and you're like, whose head is this?
Thing. Like, my head does not even look close to that.
Yeah, exactly. God. Well, thanks for watching that. That means a lot.
Hell yeah. I mean, I think I've watched everything of really all of y'all's that I can find.
And thanks for sharing the More Than a Feeling also. That was great. That was a lot of fun to make, and I've been itching to shoot another short, and I got one in the works. Shoot the short. It's it's in the works, and it's very fun. Yeah.
Another one that you wrote?
Another one that I wrote with a friend of mine. And it's just, we're trying to like navigate what the heck is going on with this virus first. And then before we like put anything into motion.
Wait, who's the friend?
Hold on. I was writing it with someone and then they're no longer involved.
Oh,
but,
okay.
Yeah.
You don't have to drop names. I just know that we have a mutual who's doing a short next month. So I didn't know.
Oh, really? Is it Cal? Who is it?
No, Kavitsky. Or do you know Kavitsky? Yeah, you do.
Oh my
you were
God,
in some of the stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, Alex Kavitsky. Love that dude. He's great.
He rips.
Yeah, we've been like, okay, so Alex is the guy who really got me to like drive the whole like New York cab driver type character.
Yeah.
Like, I think he recognized that from all the POWERVIOLENCE stuff and was like, I got to put this guy in my film. So when we did the Alex Kavitsky's Guide to Filmmaking for Channel 101, that was truly some of the most fun I've ever had because I could go I can improvise forever as that character. Like I can't as Bud, but I can as that guy. Just put like a little cabbie hat and like a little like cigarette in my mouth or whatever, a little toothpick or something. I'll fucking all day I'll give you that guy. It's like my favorite. It's just
that's
like
when you really clicked into place like who you were.
yeah. It's like chubby Bugs Bunny kind of like, hey, how you doing? How you doing, boss? Hey, how you doing, Doc? And hey, have a seat here. How's the air temperature? You want it hot or you want it cold? Hey, what do you? It's like it's just fuck forever. You just look around and talk about stuff around you in that voice, and it just spills out beautifully.
Hell yeah!
Alex really helped me find that and hone it in and perfect it because everything that he cast me in is basically that.
Yeah.
It's great. Great brain in that head, Alex.
Brain. How does he do that? Hell yeah. Well, good BTS on all of this.
Yeah.
That ripped. That's all I watched this week.
Oh, that's great.
Thanks for all that extra info. It's now time for plugs. What do you have to plug?
Let's go.
Find you?
All right. Find me at BUDD DIAZ on Instagram and Twitter. And please follow my podcasts at the Dreamcast Podcast on Instagram and the DCPC on Twitter. That's the closest I could get. Yeah. A bit of advice if you're starting a podcast, make sure the uniform handles are available throughout.
Or name it something so weird that no one would claim it, such as ScreenVomit.
Bingo. Yes, exactly. That way you can get all the Gmails, all the socials, get everything, line it up real nice.
Hell yeah.
Follow the Dreamcast Podcast. It's a podcast I run with friend comedian Moses Goldfarb, who's wonderful, and it's basically 90% about tales of us in life and 10% about the Dreamcast. But it's super fun. And then find me on Twitch, twitch.tv/BuddAnthony. I didn't whitewash my own name. I dropped the Diaz from it because multiple people had suggested to me saying that my handle was like too long. So I thought, okay, I'll drop
Diaz.
Diaz.
The end instead of the middle.
Right. And then
you could have made it Bud Tony.
I could have, yeah. Or just Bud. BUDD Diaz, but then it looks like Buddha Diaz. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
So I think I'm gonna bring it back. But for now, if you're listening, it's currently twitch.tv/BudAnthony. I primarily play Game Fools games on there. You're not gonna want to miss this. GameFools.com.
Or draw.
AAA games right on your mobile. And I do draw streams too, because I used to draw all the time, and then I kind of stopped because I grew up, and now I want to ungrow up and start drawing again.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love the drawing streams. They're
Thank
so
you
chill.
so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Because we have a time difference, you always stream like at nighttime, like wind down, going to bed time for me.
Oh,
so.
Interesting. Would it help if I did it earlier? Or
no, it's great. Well, it's pros and cons because I usually end up staying up too late watching, but It's also pros because it's such a good like wind down vibe.
Yeah, yeah.
It's so chill.
Cool.
Because I'm 3 hours later than you. I'm on Eastern time. So.
Got it. Okay. I'm glad you enjoy it, and I'll do better. But,
Just keep doing what you're doing. It's cool.
All right. Thank you.
And watch out in the future for Bud's future short film that you're working on.
Thank you.
Or check out the past ones.
Or check out the past ones too. Yeah, the new stuff. It's just like it's still like in conceptual forms, but it's but
so
the
check
beauty.
It out in a couple of years.
Yeah, you'll love it. The untitled BUDD DIAZ 2.0 project. No, that still the idea is still kind of being worked out. You get it. You'll figure it out.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, this has been awesome. Thanks for having me on. This is great.
Aw, thank you. Thank you for coming.
Yeah, for sure.
And just to run through my plugs real fast, you can find the show on Instagram and everywhere else at ScreenVomit. One word on all the things. Do all the stuff. Give us a subscribe, rate and review, etc. You can send us an email at screenvomitpod@gmail.com with your thoughts on this movie or other movies. Suggest a movie, suggest a guest, whatever. I don't care. I don't know what we'll be watching next week yet. So you can follow the Instagram. I always post it there. Yeah, so that's all for me. So that's pretty much the end of the damn